Hello, my little spooklings. Today we have another reading from a different author. These poems are by Strange Nocturnal and are from his book, a collection of original Cumbrian Gothic poetry. Check it out in the links below. I hope you enjoy this, and if you like it, hopefully there will be much more to follow. So you know the routine. Grab a warm drink, sit back, curl up with a blanket, and get ready. A lonely spirit does roam, escaping the shell, wandering alone, like ash to ground, fire to fuel, smoke to air, finally a place with no fare. Heaven and hell are nowhere now, no wondering who, what, where, or how. Limitless, endlessly wrapped in solitude, that which is and is not new but a home. No walls or doors, just the great beyond. The endless countdown, a lonely spirit does roam. A sinister seance, mourners gather mourning on the anniversary of the one they loved and knew. Years since passed since they departed few, gathered on an autumn night. They come to communicate with all their might. Around the table, in a circle, they hold hands and the medium travels, calling out their lover still living and in a death-like state, without the manifestation of their love. Cries and cries again to the heavens above. The medium moans and moves. An eerie mist swarms the room. Hands locked in astonishment and amaze. They all watch and gaze, awaiting an apparition. The table, then chairs and windows move. The lover starts to swoon. Medium drops suddenly, head hitting cold tabletop. All the activity dramatically stops. The lover recovers and demands, "Keep tight hold. Don't break the circle. Keep the energy and keep holding hands." The mist-like substance begins to wrap and weave and dance. "Is that you, my everything?" the lover asked. The medium shuddered and raised their head. The medium, but not in her own voice, then said, "I am not known by the living, and I've never been dead." The mist grew like shadow, and that shadow was darker than the dark within the room. And that darkness grew and grew. "Don't break the circle," the medium understands. "We've crossed a boundary and it must be binded back to whence it came." The shadow like demon made a noise that of unlike anything heard by worldly ears. Then in our tongue did it state, "How can you banish that which hath no name?" The medium replied, "We have names for what you are." The anonymous entity seemed to smile, then said, "You dabble in things you do not know. You question, where will you go? So I'm here to show you." In the cemetery rose, ivory bone beneath the grey, moss-bound tombstones, 6 feet or more, and death bestowed. A widowed wife pays her grief with a red rose. Alone she lets her tears flow. She still wears her funeral robes to visit her long-lost love, even though it was many moons ago. Tormented by the thought of her lover's remains out there, she has to go. Her soulmate wanders the afterlife without her physically. Yet in isolation, her salvation she knows. Death did not part their love in spirit. With love, with death, love changes and still grows, and finds comfort in the peace of the necropolis, as she will reside by her lover's side, together in time, together in the cemetery rows. The haunted hall. It was as if winter came all in one moment, in the ruined old grounds of a once noble home. Doubting my senses, I reached into darkness to touch bare walls of stone. I came out to see for myself, investigate on my own. I scaled the walls that once held a queen of old. History had its dungeons filled within. Lords and ladies ruled their lives, deaths and tragedies. All in this place I was told had unfolded. I stumbled into once busy corridors and passageways, banquet rooms and chambers I walked. But it was in the shallow, dark dungeons a voice from the emptiness did talk, feminine and enchanting, unexpected and unexplainable. I tried to speak, but the air, frozen cold, the words lost in trembling thought, and my vision an apparition. Paralyzed in fear, the spectre came forward. In the phantom I was caught. No tuition of this had I recollection. No tuition of this I had recollection, so no response to me was taught. Moaning suddenly as it jumped near, my then sweaty hands and fingers climbed the rattling shackles in the walls. Grabbing them, I picked myself off the floor and ran out the dungeon door. Dizzyingly with blood burning through icy veins, my beating body with will all alone. I escaped the ruined old grounds of a once noble home, and now I know that it was true what I had been told about the haunted hall of old. Horror Nation, poltergeist politicians, ghost governments, bloody-handed bankers, ectoplasmic economy, skeleton society, Horror Nation, an island on which the monsters reside in, Horror Nation. Murder at the Crossroads. Unmarked graves pave the way to the crossroads. Weathered noose ropes swing from the half-burnt trees by the very same crossroads. No one ever stops here. No one who sets foot where the roads meet ever leaves. If you pass through at night, you will hear their mighty cry, the cry of 1,000 victims, their souls tortured and tormented, carried by the cursed flock of crows the crows that call for more. The very same crows that called you here to lose, to the murder at the crossroads. Funeral forecast. Magical, majestic and mystical, monstrous mountains and streams, forests, lakes and rivers near, old towns, valleys, villages and onward to the sea, withered days and forgotten times past, when death did upon the mortal soul had called. In a wooden box below earth the coffin had fallen. Nothing now but a stone, a name. Nothing now but a stone, a name. Nothing now but a stone, a name. No one left, no, to bear their memory. The corpse is rotten, remains for nights and death days. Deranged in poverty's peace, down in the earth deep. In the churchyard the graves resided, a resident on the far corner of the cemetery cold, where splendors of autumn's orange leaves that few mourners only see, in the water weaving from the wind and weather-beaten trees. Nature's flow of life and death most beautifully flowed. On the far corner of the cemetery cold, falling and cursing, the river rising, the heavens exploded and with hell's wrath, heavy rains enraged and was now exposing, eroding the hollowed soil on the far corner of the cemetery cold, allowing this forgotten soul to travel water not seen nor touched, not since life so long ago, where this wooden box, boat and home, of my death and remains unknown, for my will left my body long ago. I hope you enjoyed these poetry readings. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought and if you would like to see more. If you have something you would like me to read, please send me an email or contact me through DM on Twitter. All links are available to Strange Nocturnal's books and contact information. Thank you, Strange Nocturnal, for allowing me to read your poetry. Stay safe, my little spooklings. And remember, I'll be watching you.